Okay, so are we good to go? Yeah, so welcome everyone. Thank you so much for attending our first Ruth and I's first drop-in session. So this is a staff engagement session. We want this to feel really informal, really interactive, because we really want to hear your thoughts really on making Lincolnshire primary care a great place to work. So just a little bit about us. So I think you're all familiar with Ruth, but Ruth and I are in a job share. We are the new People Promise Managers, the new NHS People Promise Managers for Lincolnshire Primary Care. And I think this is week 4 or 5. It's picking up pace. As I say, we've just started, but we feel as if we've been doing this job for quite a while now. So if we just move over to the next slide. We are part of a cohort 2 of a national People Promise initiative. So if we move over to the next slide, we'll just explain a bit about what the People Promise is. So for some of you, you might already know what it's about. For others, it might be new news. So the People Promise has been developed from the NHS People Plan. So this was 2020-2021. It is, you'll see on the right-hand side, infographic of, in the middle, you'll see 7 elements. So these 7 elements are what people working up and down the country have said that they want in place in order for them to feel happy and healthy in working for the NHS. So, and that is in all different organisations within the NHS. So it could be primary care, secondary care, tertiary care, specialist services. This is all about how we can help staff feel happier and healthier, so that you stay, that you feel fulfilled in your roles. If you could go over to the next slide, that'd be good. So this also aligns to the NHS staff survey. So, and I think in primary care, that is the GPSS. So a couple of years ago, you might have noticed that there were certain elements that were linked to these seven elements. And also we're looking at morale and engagement when we look at the GPSS. Can we go over to the next slide?
Yeah, okay. Shall I take over here, Helen?
Yes, please.
Lovely. So as Helen mentioned, NHS staff up and down the country have submitted what they feel they would improve their working lives in the NHS through surveys, through listening exercises. All those responses have been collated, and the People Promise has been formed from that. So there are 7 elements of the People Promise listed here. So we are compassionate and inclusive. We are recognised and rewarded. We each have a voice that counts. We are safe and healthy. We are always learning. We work flexibly, and we are a team. So those are the 7 elements forming the NHS People Promise. I'm just going to try playing a video here. I can't see the chat showing my screen at the moment, I'm afraid. So if it's not working, can someone just shout?
I think it's on silent, Ruth.
How was that? Just a moment. try again. Is that any better?
No, can anyone hear it?
Right.
No, can't hear
Okay.
it.
Oh, not sure what's happened with the technology there.
There's
What I
a
was
sound thing on there on the screen. You can see there's a sound right at the bottom of underneath the video.
Yeah, it looks like it's on.
What I'll do is I'll follow this up by sending around an email with the link to the video. It's only a couple of minutes long, so hopefully you can watch it from that link. Apologies for that. So we'll just skip to the next slides. So a quick overview of the impact of the People Promise Exemplar programme on staff retention around England. So one of the main objectives of the People Promise programme is to increase the number of people who are staying within the NHS. And from cohort 1, all 23 exemplar organisations experienced a significant decrease in turnover rate 10 months into the programme. There's a chart here where you can see the reduction in turnover, and it's all statistically significant. And those results are up from 61% of organisations having a significant decrease 7 months into the programme. And that suggests that the programme has an increasing impact over time. And Buckinghamshire, Bradford Teaching, University Hospitals, Leicester, and also ULHT, so Lincolnshire cohort, saw the greatest improvement in all staff turnover rates at the 10-month mark. And ULHT saw a reduction in staff turnover rates of 21.8%, which is really quite high. So really positive news on that front as to what the exemplar programme can do in terms of encouraging staff to stay within their roles. Helen, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Ruth. So in terms of this initiative, national initiative, what does this mean for, Lincolnshire primary care? Well, we're part of the national initiative. We're part of cohort 2. With other local regional trusts and other local national primary care organisations. So what we've all had to do is we're working with regional leads. So we've put together a self-assessment tool which looks at the 7 elements, but it looks at in your services in your area, give examples of how you are meeting these criteria, set of criteria. So we've been working collaboratively. We've looked at staff engagement survey results. We've looked at national workforce data. We've looked at the staff engagement piece of work that's just been carried out, and with the primary care people group as well. So we've collated a lot of rich information about what's going on for the 81 GP practices, the 15 PCNs, areas of good practice that's happening already. Because at the end of the day, this initiative that Ruth and I are working on is it's not about introducing lots of new and different ideas. It's understanding what good practice, best practice is going on within our networks already, so that we're able to kind of, with a glue, if you like, in terms of bringing it all together. That's not to say that we want to look at innovation and creativity as well. We want to look and see what what's out, what other opportunities we can put together. So yeah, so we've done that first of all, the self-assessment tool. So is that all right, Ruth, if you carry on over to the next slide?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
So having completed that self-assessment tool, we got a baseline picture of where we are now currently in Lincolnshire primary care. And that baseline picture indicates that we need to focus on the following 4 elements of the people promise as key priorities over the coming 12 months. So we'll be looking primarily at, we each have a voice, making sure that everyone working in primary care in all roles and at all levels has a voice and are able to contribute their ideas, report any issues they're facing, that they felt heard and listened to. We're going to be looking at we are compassionate and inclusive, making sure that the interventions that we implement are accessible to everyone, and that everyone feels welcomed in primary care, no matter what their background is. We're going to be looking at we are a team, looking at developing resources for team building. We know that people who work well as a team are happier in their roles. And also we work flexibly, looking at collating resources on how to work flexibly, what options are available, and providing those to practice and PCN managers. We'll also be looking at the other 3 elements of the people promise, but those are our priority areas. So how are we going to do this? Helen and I have put together an action plan, which we're going to submit at regional level today, and it lists a number of targeted actions in each of the 4 focus areas. These are subject to approval from the Primary Care People Group, which meets in a couple of weeks' time. So we don't want to share at present, we don't want to overpromise, but we're really excited about some of the actions that we are planning and think they will make a real difference. We want to be really accessible as your people promise managers. We want you to approach us. We want you to feel that you can contribute your own ideas. We are here to listen. We are here to support and help. So please do get in touch at any time. We're also planning to attend face-to-face events to listen to your voice. We're hoping to have a stand at various events coming up over the coming months, including primary care, education and networking events, clinical teaching events. Yeah, we've got a calendar of events that we are hoping to be there at, so you can meet us in person as well. It'd be lovely to meet more of you. We have set up website pages on the primary care intranet, on the Training Hub website, and also the One Workforce website. Those pages are identical. We just wanted to ensure everyone could access them. We know that not everyone is on the primary care intranet page, so we've also replicated the content on the Training Hub website and the One Workforce website, which are our public pages. However, if anyone does not have access to the primary care intranet and would like access, please do let us know. It's simply a matter of clicking on the link and then there's a little button that says I'd like access please, and you'll be granted access. Over the coming months we will be putting a library of resources onto those pages aligned with the various elements of the People Programme, the People Promise Programme, for you to use within your own practice and PCNs. And they will range from everything from the I mentioned resources for how to work flexibly. We'll be putting on Moments That Matter cards. So these are digital cards that you can hand out to members of your team for their birthday or when they reach a work anniversary, so a certain number of years in their current role. They are tokens, token recognition of people's hard work in primary care. And a huge number of the other resources, too many to mention here, but I'd really encourage you to go and have a look, and we'll certainly send out those links in the email. We are looking for People Promise champions, so to really implement the People Promise effectively into primary care, we need people on board to support us with that. We're looking for People Promise champions on everything from well-being to working flexibly to being safe and healthy, things like menopause support. If you would be interested in getting involved in any way and becoming a People Promise champion yourself, and I'd like to stress at this point, we'd be very flexible on time commitment, whether you can offer a small amount of time or a large amount of time. We'd be very, very keen to hear from you. So yeah, please do get in touch with either Helen or myself via email, and we'd love to discuss further. And this is a brand new to primary care. As far as we know, no one else has done this across England, but we are looking at a People Promise accreditation programme aligned with CQC requirements for practices and PCNs. For practices or PCNs who align themselves with People Promise, implement different elements of the People Promise within their own practice or PCN. You may be doing this already. There may be things that you can implement in addition. We will be sending out some form of accreditation, some recognition that you have done that. So we're not quite sure exactly how that will look. It may be a digital badge, it may be something more tangible. But the idea is that you can use it as a recruitment tool. You can say to prospective applicants, we are a People Promise practice or PCN. We look after our people. So watch out for details of that. Right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this point. That was the formal end of the formal part of the presentation. So I'm going to stop recording at this point.
How can I just jump in? What do you think so far?